Hey everybody, I think you're really gonna like this video today. We just put the boat in. We're at Cherokee Lake in Jefferson City. Dad's parking the truck right now, but I think you're really gonna enjoy watching this video. We're gonna be doing a little bit of pre-spawn smallmouth fishing and just pre-spawn fishing in general. But what you'll see is actually gonna be 2 days combined. I came out here yesterday afternoon. It's April 3rd today, so I was out here April 2nd and struggled hard for about 3 or 4 hours, and ended up figuring out I could catch some fish on a Carolina rig, and caught a few good ones yesterday, lost a few good ones yesterday. So Dad and I are coming back out today, and the whole point of this video is just going to be, one, to show you some smallmouth, show you some pre-spawners, and I want to try to break down how I'm catching them. I haven't really done a video like that before, but show you what I'm catching them on, what I'm looking for, what we're doing, and what's working, at least what's working these last few days. So anyways, hopefully that's helpful. Hope you enjoy it. Regardless, I appreciate you watching, so we'll get out here and see if we can catch a few more today. Should be fun. Alright, so I'm rigging up a lizard here. I'm going to start off throwing a Carolina rig. I throw a Carolina rig a lot. At 90% of the time, I'm either throwing a Cinco, a Carolina, or a Cinco, a lizard, or a brush hog on it, just depending on where I'm at or what I want to throw. But this first spot, I love fishing islands all the time. And this is just an island that's got a real nice little saddle in it. It's got a lot of sand. It's got a lot of little pebbles that these fish will, I know, get up here and spawn on. And I don't know if they're this far along yet, but I just want to start here. And because in the past, I feel like I'm kind of behind the fish. The fish always end up being further along than I think they are. So I'm going to start off looking these fish, probably smallmouth, that have already moved up around where they're going to spawn, even if they're not up there spawning yet. So see what transpires here. Well, I'm shocked, dazed and confused. It should have worked. I rarely ever stray from the mega bass, but let's give something else a shot. We're finally hooked up after missing a couple chances. Oh my gosh, that's a big one. Come here to me. Yes, sir. Look at him peeing. Can you see it? Ooh! I don't mind that a bit. Yes, 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 yes! Okay. Well, I'm gonna weigh this fish real quick, just 'cause I'm curious, but here's what's happened. I jumped off, started throwing a Carolina rig, again, and ended up jumping off a fish that was every bit of 4 pounds, probably closer to 5. Smallmouth comes up, jumps, first bite I had today. Keep throwing the Carolina rig, and switch what I'm throwing to something I throw a lot out here, what a lot of people throw out here. There's that Cinco. I just caught this one on. It's a pretty one. So I think we're on something with this Carolina rig. We'll keep running this and see what else we can figure out. There's one. Pretty largemouth. Pretty. Yeah. Yeah. Barely. And he left me the worm. What a peach. There's one in there, I just couldn't catch it. I knew there had to be one in that stuff, for Pete's sake. It was like there's got to be one in one of those trees. Long and lean. Thank you, Lord. It's pretty. Dang, it's pretty. Top of the nose. Nice. Nice. There's one. Oh, that's a good one. I think that's a good one. Yeah. Strong. Okay. Tubby. Dang, that's a good one. Yeah. 3-pounder anyways. 3-pounder, gotta love it. They're biting. Woo-hoo-hoo. Maybe I need to back up. Woo-hoo. Studleys. Studleys. There's one. That's a good one. Oh, smallmouth. Not a brown, it's a bean too. Pretty, 2-pounder. Yeah. Pretty, pretty. There's a bite. Oh, that's the best feeling in the world. I know a lot of people don't like throwing a Carolina rig. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. That's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one. Ooh. Real good. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Yes, sir. That's a fine and dandy one right there. Snap a picture. Woohoo. That's a 3-pounder at least. Pretty. Pretty, pretty. That's all you need. That sucker wears them out. Burn through a lot of them. But it'll catch them. Let's catch one. Oh gosh, good one. Big one. Oh, it feels like a big one. He may just be strong, but man, when he first took off, it felt like a big one. I think that might be a big one. Oh gosh, that's a good one right there. Woo-hoo-hoo. Son. Yeah, that's a dandy. Oh, come here, come here, come here. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Golly, I love this. I don't love that. Nice and easy. Let's see if it turns where I see it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Buddy. That's a stud right there. I mean, that's a tank. That's a dandy. Up there, shallow. All right, so this is my attempt to break down just kind of what was going on in the video, what worked for us, at least those couple of days on Cherokee. And the only reason I haven't done this in the past, or why I've been hesitant to do something like this, is just because I hate when I see stuff on social media or on YouTube where people are like, this is what I'm doing. If you want to catch a bass right now, this is what you have to do. If you don't, you're not going to catch a bass. Well, that's stupid. Yeah, you probably could go out and do this and not get a bite just because that's how luck works. And you could catch them doing probably 1,000 different other things. But if you find this helpful, that's the whole point of it. So looking at this right here, this is just, I pulled up the Navionics web app. And these aren't the same two islands that you see in the video, but it sets up similarly enough to where it's, it works well. For an example, this is from Cherokee, but I love fishing islands for whatever reason. I've just always seemed to catch a bunch of fish around islands, and fishing stuff like this saddle right here, at least I'd call it a saddle, is what I was doing a couple different times that have worked. So when I'm coming up to an island, I'm looking for a couple of things, which is either one, does it have a saddle connecting it to another island or to the bank, a point, or something else? Is there anything else about it? Like, if you look at an island and you get, it's a circle or an oval or whatever shape it is, there's got to be some side of it that has some factor that makes it more attractive than the rest of the island. So right here you've got a saddle and you've got a roadbed that comes across it, or a bar, maybe you call it a bar. And so if it's got that, then that's something that I really, really like. And this time of year, for me, what seems really important is just like, I won't fish a spot unless it's got this, is the right kind of bottom, the right kind of, bottom contour, or not contour, but structure. And so I'll pull up a couple of screenshots real quick. The two that I was fishing, and this is not a shot from an island. If I was thinking, I would have taken pictures of the actual banks, but it's close enough. It's the right kind of stuff. These banks that have got just this chunk rock on them, chunk rock, small rock, some broken slate, but it's mixed in with dirt and sand and mud. And so this is pretty rock heavy here, but I like this kind of stuff. If it's got that kind of a bottom on, I really, really like it. And if it's got, and this one's even, worse of an example. Oh, look, there's a bass. But it doesn't look like much. This point right here, the smallmouth actually came from way off this point. This point's got a lot of sand. It's got a lot of little pebbles. It's got a lot of really small rock on it. It's just that kind of bottom, whether it's on points or on islands or wherever it's at. And I know there's a lot of it on the lake, but that's the kind of stuff that just seems this time of year where I can catch them off of better than others. So if I can find that kind of bottom around a point or around an island that's got other things to it that make it attractive to fish, or should anyways, that's where I'll start looking. Yeah, you don't catch them off of all of it, but if you run 4 or 5 points like this or islands like this, you're bound to start catching some fish. This one right here, one of the spots that I usually can catch them out there sets up a lot like this. It's this little island. This one looks like a little upside down teardrop, but it's got this one long point that runs off the side of it. That gets real deep before it connects to this island. And so I'm not necessarily fishing like this deep saddle over here, but if I've got an island and one side of it's got a big, long, shallow point off of it, or just a big, long, gradual point, that's somewhere it just seems like it's really easy for those fish to stage on and to move up, maybe spawn up at the top of that point or spawn anywhere around the island. And so that kind of stuff just tends to work really well. And if I can find it where it's got that bottom in those last few pictures, that's what I like to look for. But one of the other things that we were catching fish on doing those last few days was, let me see if I can find a good pocket here. It's got a good example. Finding pockets that just have, defined secondary points in them. I caught a few on the main lake if it was on islands. I don't think I fished a whole lot of main lake point stuff. When I did, I didn't catch them. But you could catch them back in these secondary points, back in these pockets, smallmouth and largemouth, where they just seem to be moving in there, getting ready to spawn. I don't know if they're waiting. I mean, I'm sure there are a few fish that are spawning around the lake, but I think they're probably just waiting for the lake to get full before they just, go full-blown spawn. But catching some of those fish, same kind of banks, just, defined points back in the pockets. I mean, if it was just a regular little turn that didn't have a lot of, definition to it, like little stuff like that, yeah, you might still be able to catch them. But those longer points seem to be where I could catch them off of, backs in those pockets. And then the one other thing, and I wanted to, let's see if I can find a good video of this real quick. I hadn't intended to show this, but I'm still trying to figure out all the camera stuff. And I had one camera that I had a lot of hours on when I was flipping that whole SD card screwed up. It just kept reading SD error. And so, but if I'd find pockets like this where even though the water's not all the way up, it had a bunch of brush in it, you could catch them flipping stuff like this pretty much anywhere you found it. As long as it had at least a couple feet of water on it, I was catching largemouth. I had a lot of those pockets, and I only showed one or two of those in the video because the rest of it got deleted. But anyways, this kind of stuff right here, this is actually the only big bush that I couldn't catch one out of that day. But that kind of stuff, we were catching quite a few largemouth flipping out of. No big ones. I'm sure you could, if you ran enough of that stuff, you could probably flip up a big one eventually. But I was flipping it with a Cinco. I flip it with whatever you want to. I just think that they're up there and they're wanting to spawn really bad. And I'm sure there are a few spawn around that stuff. But anyways, the stuff that had 3 or 4 feet of water on it is what seemed to be the best flipping wise. And with the water being down, there wasn't a ton of it that you could see like this, but when you found it, it was usually pretty good. Because the next bush up from this is the first one that I flipped up in the video. So anyways, hopefully you find that helpful. Appreciate you watching the video. If you like this kind of stuff, the maps and the, going into detail a little bit, comment on the video, let me know. I'll try to do more of it. If not, then I'll just do regular videos of fish. But anyways, all the tournaments postponed through the rest of April. I'm planning to do a little bit more of this kind of in-depth stuff just since I've got the free time and yeah, because it just seems fun to do. So thanks for watching the video. I appreciate it. Hope y'all are staying safe and being able to spend some time on the water. And until next time, good luck. I'll see y'all out there.